Hey everyone. Okay, so honestly, I don't know where to begin with this chapter, but I guess the place to start is we learn the big secret that Vegapunk has been keeping from Bonnie, which is that supposedly he has basically Kuma's memories locked away in the form of one of his pain bubbles. Now, to me, the interesting thing about this reveal is how Oda framed the build up to it, because the fact that he interspliced scenes of Kuma ascending the red line with Bonnie getting closer and closer to the truth, on top of the fact that Vegapunk himself was begging and pleading her not to touch the bubble, makes me think the moment she touches it, there's going to be a feedback loop of Bonnie just not only just going through extreme pain, probably, but I think, I think what's also going to happen the moment she touches that bubble is Kuma is not only going to regain his memories, but I almost dare say Bonnie might regain some memories that some of her own memories as well. And yes, I'm implying that Kuma took away part of his own daughter's memories, but obviously the question is, for what reason did he do this if that's the case? Well, that's where things get a little complicated. And honestly, I don't know how much of it I'm even believing myself, because what I'm about to say is just pure theory crafting on my part. However, based on all the pieces we've been given, I think Oda is alluding to simply this. I believe Kuma and Bonnie aren't just a royal family, but the royal family. That despite technically hailing from the French kingdom of the French kingdom of Sorbet, their true royal origins, their lineage, are tied to that of the lost kingdom of the Void Century. And again, I have nothing to really back this up other than a few moments I can't help but read as context clues. But between the memory extraction, the amount of knowledge Vegapunk has on the Void Century, and the fact that Kuma is literally making the climb of the red line just as the robot did, I don't know, it all makes way too much sense in my head. And even if Kuma and Bonnie aren't the lost kingdoms or lost royalty, I feel there has to be some kind of connection to said royalty, even under those circumstances. I don't know, something just tells me there's they're pretty much more than just royalty of the Sorbet Kingdom. I think it just feels like they're more than that, honestly. I don't know, it makes it, I don't know, again, in my head it just all makes too much sense that they'd be connected to the Void Century in some way. I don't know. Or at the very least Kuma is. Obviously Bonnie was born after that fact, but yeah. Tabling all that, though, the other huge reveal we have to talk about is Stussy's true identity, and that she's a clone, but not just any clone either. Her real name is Miss Buckingham Stussy of the Rocks Pirates, a Mads cloning experiment. And yeah, Oda, Vegapunk, hell, everyone who's still alive that was involved in the Mads has got some serious explaining to do on this one. Because for those who don't remember or recognize the name, Buckingham Stussy, that Buckingham Stussy is a character that is very much alive in the world of One Piece. Yes, it's that old biddy who was claiming to be Whitebeard's wife and parading her son around as his progeny. And I'll be honest, she is a character that kind of got lost in the weeds for me, because she appeared, revealed her son as one of the warlords, and just disappeared again. That's it. But now with this reveal of her clone and who Buckingham Stussy really is, it makes you wonder not only how much weight she threw around the government to even make all that current stuff happen, but even more so now, what exactly her endgame is in all this. All eyes right now are kind of back on Buckingham Stussy after this. And just knowing the connection of being a former member of the Rocks Pirates opens a whole can of worms to an already tenuous situation in the world. The end game of One Piece is the Throne Wars. That's what everything Oda is doing right now is building to. So just knowing what we know now about Stussy's true identity, both the clone and the real one, the question becomes, what kind of new problem, what kind of kindle is being thrown on the fire? What kind of kindle is this that's going to be thrown on the fire that's already going to make an already chaotic fire burst into an absolutely like shit show of a blaze, like, so to speak. Like, how much chaos is this going to cause in the world at large right now? And the best guess I have at this point is that Oda is actually planning to bring rocks back in some form or fashion. That's the only purpose I can see in revealing this about Stussy, because that's the only thing that makes sense considering what we know. And that she's planning, and that's why we haven't seen much of her. She's kind of planning all this behind the scenes to continue what Rocks had started. But honestly, even then, this still makes me wonder more so how Blackbeard plays in all this. Like, assuming the theory of him having a connection to Rocks is true, what role does he play in the grand scheme of things in terms of like Buckingham Stussy's plans, or what exactly is her plans? Like, it's just one of those things where I'm like, there's this one reveal just has me asking so many questions about what her goal ultimately is. It's obviously to continue what Rocks had started, but in what form or fashion does that take? Because it's going to throw the entire, because just this reveal in itself, it throws the entire idea of what'll happen in the Throne Wars already into complete chaos. Like, we haven't even gotten to the damn Throne Wars yet, and just in knowing this is the case, it throws the entire concept already into it already guarantees complete chaos in that regard. But okay, but all that aside, though, from all that, I guess the only other thing is to question what Lucci's next move is going to be, because with the reveal of the Stussy clone, things are just I don't think gonna go his way. The whole situation at the lab right now is already in complete absolute insanity, and theoretically, and on a theoretical basis, with Stussy's betrayal, so to speak, this would probably be the time for Lucci's smoker moment, where he squashes the BS and forms a temporary alliance with the Straw Hats. But at the same time, I think this is also a little too. I think forming an alliance with the Straw Hats would kind of be counterintuitive to just how prideful Lucci is. Like, I think Lucci's a little too prideful to do something like that. So while I hesitate to call it yet, the whole thing with Stussy reveal at the end does feel like Oda might be moving towards this arc being Lucci's last. Again, don't want to say with certainty, but the fact that things took this kind of a heel turn has the vibe of in the eyes of the government, Lucci has outlived his usefulness, kind of thing, and that the plan the whole time was to eliminate Vegapunk along with Lucci and Kaku, which is kind of in line with government protocol and policy when you look at how they operate. Like, anything having to do with the Void Century, they always operate in the whole idea of anyone who knows the knowledge or has witnessed the knowledge must be purged. And regardless of the stuff, because regardless of how, like, and honestly, like, it really doesn't matter how loyal Lucci's been, regardless of loyalty to the world government, the fact remains that just by being there, Lucci and Kaku have just seen too much. And again, by government logic, just knowing this is dangerous. So yeah, I don't want to say he's gonna die, but all the pieces are kind of in place for that to happen, unless Lucci and Kaku manage to escape and basically go on the run, which could also be a possibility. But yeah, I'm not liking the chances of Lucci surviving this right now either. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. I'm on Twitter, Analyst Crunchyroll.
Be sure to notification bell, the subscribe button, and just sit around, guys. Dark Knight, don't know, signing off. Later, everyone.